Alright everyone, this video is long overdue. All my brothers and sisters, especially you, need to sit down and you need to take a listen. You know, I usually start my videos out and I'll give the date and the date. But I'm not going to do that with this video. It'll stand the test of time. You know, there is a huge misunderstanding and a huge misconception of what a real watchman on the wall is. What is the definition of a watchman on the wall? A lot of people today are making claim to the title of watchman, and nothing could be further from the truth. A watchman is a person that is, for whatever reason, doesn't have to be a pastor, it doesn't have to be a minister, a church leader. It can be a regular person, a lay person. They are appointed for a reason by the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the God of Israel, and to watch for end times, and not only to watch for events taking place in end time Bible prophecy. They have to have a backbone, not of a jellyfish. They have to have a backbone of steel. They have to be willing for the people of Israel, Jew and Gentile, and of all nations, to throw themselves under the bus to protect the people, and also be thrown under the bus by the very ones they were appointed to protect. Now, like I said, a lot of people today are running around, they're claiming that they are watchmen on the wall. And I seen that in 2011. I've been a watchman for a long time, a long time. And I seen in 2011 when the animals started dying, the fish started washing ashore, and the birds started falling out of the sky, and we had the earthquakes, the 9.0 earthquake in Japan, and the tsunami. I said, it's amazing. I thought I'd be out here on the wall by myself, and there are many watchmen. I'm not alone. But it didn't take me long to come to the realization that in fact they indeed were not watchmen. They were claiming title to watchmen, but they weren't watchmen. They didn't have what it takes to be a watchman, and not all people do. God doesn't appoint every single person a watchman. It's far different than just watching for signs of the rapture of the church or of an earthquake coming, or listening to what the prophets are saying in 2011, 2012. I don't know why the God of Israel chose me to be a watchman. It could be my experience, 25 plus years in law enforcement, private security, investigations. I've been a personal bodyguard. I've trained bodyguards. It could be my training in hand-to-hand combat. I have trained federal marshals, federal air marshals, and not only in hand-to-hand combat, I've trained bodyguards also in the use of weapons. It may have something to do with it. Why God chose me to be a watchman. And I'm going to tell you, I'm not alone. I'm going to name two at the end of this video, real watchmen on the wall. And one of them, I think you may be surprised. But a lot of people today are running around claiming title to watchman. We're going to take a look, and we're going to define what a watchman on the wall is. Now, my many years of being in investigations as a bodyguard and in law enforcement, there was an incident that happened quite a few years ago on a bridge, and I think this is going to explain what's going on today, maybe. Because I'll sit back and I'll see people accuse the watchman of causing division, bickering, causing strife. And some will even come out with videos and, you know, they're just tired of seeing the bickering. I don't think they understand really the duty of a watchman. It takes a special kind of person to be a watchman. You can't be spineless. You can't be a jellyfish. You've got to have a backbone of steel. Like I said, you've got to be able to throw yourself under the bus to protect the people, and know that you may, in the process, yourself be thrown under the bus. This incident happened a few years ago, quite a few years ago rather. On a bridge, there was a young man on top of his girlfriend on this bridge, and he was kicking her in the face. He was punching her in the face and about the head. And the officer on the passenger side jumped out and proceeded to pull this boyfriend off of this girl that was taking a vicious beating. And as he was subduing this attacker, the girlfriend jumps on the officer's back and starts pounding him in the head with her fist because he was arresting her boyfriend. And, you know, I'm wondering, is that what we're seeing today? Because people don't understand the job of a guard, a police officer, a watchman on the wall, and a watchman on the wall. We're going to take a look at what Scripture says about a watchman on the wall so you have a better understanding. And we're going to go to Wikipedia. We're going to take a look at the relationship, how close it is from a watchman on the wall to a person maybe in the Marine Corps or the Army or Special Forces or Air Force that is a sentry. The duties are almost identical. Let's go to Scripture first. Let me take you real quick to Ezekiel chapter 33, verse 6. But if the watchman sees the sword coming and does not blow the trumpet, so that the people are not warned, and the sword comes and takes away any one of them, that person is taken away in his iniquity. But his blood I will require at the watchman's hand. Isaiah chapter 62, verse 6. On the walls, O Jerusalem, I have set watchmen all the day and all the night. They shall never be silent. You who put the Lord in remembrance, take no rest. They can never be silent. They can never just be quiet and not say anything. And they can never rest. Day and night, 7 days a week, on your post. Now from the book of Ezekiel, chapter 3, 17 through 19. Son of man, I have made you a watchman for the house of Israel. Whenever you hear a word from my mouth, you shall give them warning from me. If I say to the wicked, you shall surely die, and you give him no warning, nor speak to warn the wicked from his wicked way in order to save his life, that wicked person shall die for his iniquity. But his blood I will require at your hand. But if you warn the wicked, and he does not turn from his wickedness, or from his wicked way, he shall die for his iniquity, but you will have delivered your very soul. Now, let's compare the watchman on the wall over the house of Israel, all nations, Jew and Gentile, with a sentry in our armed forces, the Marine Corps, the Navy, Coast Guard, Air Force, especially the Marine Corps. We're going to take a look at Wikipedia, and we're gonna see how close they really are. The general orders for sentries are quite similar between the Navy and Marine Corps, the main difference being the titles of positions referenced in the orders. Number one, and I believe this is the Marine Corps, to take charge of his post and not be moved, and all property that is in his view. When you are a sentry, you are in charge. This means that no one, absolutely no one, no matter what their rank or position in the community, may overrule your authority in carrying out your orders. No one. The only way that you may be exempted from carrying out your orders is if your orders are changed only by your superior. And for the watchman on the wall, our superior is the God of Israel, the God of the people, the God of the nations. Some duties are to keep your eyes peeled, as the expression goes. Be vigilant by looking around at all times. Do not be tempted to hide from the rain or the cold or the winter or the storm, poor weather. If you see or hear anything unusual, investigate it and sound the alarm. To report all violations of orders I am instructed to enforce. For example, someone is climbing a fence or a wall near your post. You must report it, even if the offender stops climbing and runs away after you challenge him. You're to challenge him first, and even if he runs away, the sentry is to sound the alarm and warn the people. In this case, even though it appears that the threat to security has ended and is over, there's no way for you to know whether this person, this violator, is the only one involved. Sound the alarm. And even though the climber may have been just seeking a shortcut back to her or his ship, you cannot be certain that there is not something more going on, more sinister involved. Sound the alarm and warn the people immediately. To repeat all calls from posts more distant from the guardhouse. They're like a guard, same as a watchman on the wall, a sentry in the military. In these days of modern communication, sentries will probably have telephones or radios, the internet, YouTube, it doesn't say that, I'm just putting that in there, at their disposal with which to make their reports and sound their alarms. But if they do not, or if there is a power failure or some other reason that the modern equipment fails, the age-old practice of relaying the word is very important. You will sound the alarm. And it's called, the term is called guardhouse. In this, general order refers to the command post or point of control for the watches. It may be the quarterdeck or onboard ship or a tent in the field, but you are to vocally sound the alarm, and you are to never, for any reason, come down from your post, or as the watchman on the wall, you are to never come off of that wall. If you see the sword coming, you are to sound the alarm. So we're not much different than the military. I'll try to put this link below. A sentry in the Marine Corps, Special Forces, or Army, or Air Force, or Navy. When we see the sword coming, not only are we watching end-time Bible prophecy, we're watching wonders in the stars, the moon, and the sun. We are watching for the sword to come, and we're to warn the people. And a lot of times I don't think the people understand. Like I said, you don't have to be a church leader to be a watchman on the wall, but you have to be appointed by the God of Israel, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And it takes a special kind of person that is nerves of steel. They know by sounding the alarm, they may not only throw themselves under the bus, but be thrown under the bus by the same people that just don't understand the call of the watchman. But nonetheless, we are out there on the front lines of battle in this spiritual warfare. We're on the front lines, and we're ready. And we know we are going to take a lot of flaming arrows from the enemy. But we do not want the blood of the people on our hands. I hope this explains. Like I said, a lot of people have claimed title to the Watchman on the Wall. In 2011, a lot of people came out with the title Watchers. You got to be careful with titles, because think about Watchers going back to Mount Hermon, the Watchers who were watching women. It's a different kind of watcher. Watchman on the Wall is a special breed of person. There are a couple of watchmen on the wall today, and there are not many. If you can name any more, please put them in the comment section below, because it's very, we know we're gonna, we don't want your blood on our hands, and we know a lot of our brothers and sisters just don't simply understand, because everyone's using the term watchman on the wall. I seen a video yesterday where a person put a video out that something had happened. I think it was regarding someone giving a prophecy, maybe a false prophecy, and they stated that all the watchmen were upset. And I sat back and there was not a watchman in the bunch. Not one of those persons claiming title to watchman were a watchman. Watchman is far more than someone just watching Bible prophecy. They have to put themselves out on the front lines. And to my brothers and sisters, A watchman doesn't cause division. They're not involved in bickering or strife. It's just because, there is a huge misunderstanding of who a watchman is and what are their duties. What is the duties of the watchman? There are 2 watchmen that I know of. There's probably more. If you know of any more, will you please name them in the comment section below? One's going to surprise you. The first one, a former military, former Marine, man of God. He is truly anointed by the God of the people, the living God, as a watchman on the wall. He has a backbone of steel. And he's not afraid to put himself on the front lines. He's not afraid to throw himself under the bus. He tells it like it is. He doesn't care what anyone thinks of him, because he's a true watchman on the wall. And his YouTube channel is Doc Kids, DOCKIDDS. Subscribe to him. He sounds the alarm. He's a real watchman on the wall. He's my brother, fellow Michigander. He's from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Now, are you ready? This may surprise you and it may not. And I'm very proud of him. I'm proud to stand on the wall next to my brother, the watchman, appointed by the God of Israel, the God of the nations. Eternal rhythm flow, Scotty. Leave me comments, everyone. I hope this has helped so you understand the duties of the watchman. Scotty, I love you, brother, and I thank you, and I serve proudly on the wall with you. If you know of any other true watchmen on the wall, list them below. God bless.